Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
I am Adam.
And I'm Tom.
And together we are Atomic Business Coaching,
where our stories are your solutions. What's up, Adam?
What's up, Al? Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been a fun week back, man. Spent a little time away. It was great to be away, to take a little break from this world, to just decompress and give yourself some free space. So it was time to be away. It was hot. I was in Florida. Not fun. All you Floridians out there, I don't know how you do it. Us New Yorkers, we come down there and we melt. I mean, I get the snowbird idea, but man, is it hot in July. And I was talking to a client of ours that's in Florida, and he's like, just like you have 3 bad months in the winter, we have 3 bad months in the summer. And then it's glorious for the other 9 months. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. So basically, I'm not going down there in July, August, or September ever again. Not happening.
Don't do that. My parents live in Florida, and I go there either in May or October. That's it. Sorry.
That's it. Those are the best times to go. We go to Disney World at Thanksgiving. That's the best time to go. That's the fun part.
Nice. Cool. So listen, we've, podcast keeps doing better and better and better. We're getting amazing feedback, and, so many people are sharing, with us stories of like what they're getting out of it and how they've implemented certain things. And I thought that today what we could do is talk kind of about generally coaching and mentorship and the things that come out of that. And many of you may not know this, but Tom and I have had many different mentors, many different coaches. We even currently have coaches and people that we rely on. So Tom, I think what I want to do is talk more about that space and what people get out of that. And this is not a sales pitch of come work with us. It's more in your realm, in whatever you're doing, whether it's in your life or your business or any aspect of it. Like what really the value you can get from speaking with other people and building a community and having a support system, even if it's just friends going out and having coffee on a regular basis. One of our clients, he started taking walks through this nature preserve with someone he met at another networking group that is not in his industry. He's an architect and this other person is in real estate, and they just go on walks and they talk and they both get a lot out of it. And not necessarily like how they're going to grow their business, but just this sense of connection. And, so why don't we talk a little bit about that today, Tom?
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. And it's so true. We were talking about how important it is to have people in our world that support us, that teach us, that guide us. And, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have people that I was always taking education from and learning from. And we talk about this all the time, and how successful people have to have that learner and growth mindset. And part of that is learning and growing by witnessing and being in types of relationships that are like mentor coach. And basically, if you look at every single person in your life and every single relationship in your life, you learn something from everybody that you interact with. Everyone becomes a mentor. Everyone becomes a coach for specific circumstances, for specific situations. And it's just being open to receiving that information. When we close ourselves off from that, we don't reap the benefits. When I was practicing medicine, I had 2 amazing mentors in my life that really taught me healthcare. One was the first doctor I worked for, Dr. Chariton. He was my pediatrician as a kid. And then I wound up working as a physician assistant in his practice. And he taught me everything that I learned about medicine. He taught me how to be an excellent diagnostician. And I'm forever grateful for what he taught me, because I would go toe to toe with any physician and come up with a diagnosis. And I had that confidence because I had such a strong mentor who educated me on how to approach making diagnosis for people. And the second mentor I had was this guy, Dr. Detweiler, who taught me everything about the business of running a healthcare practice, of running a primary care practice. And I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have been in a C-suite position for a healthcare organization without the guidance and the support of those 2 people and learning from those 2 men along the way. And I'm forever grateful to them for what they've taught me. But it's the people you surround yourself with. If you don't surround yourself with people like that, you find yourself lost at times. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of having a mentor or a coach is that you have that navigator that doesn't allow you to get lost.
Yeah. Tom and I just ended a year-long mastermind group. And one of the things that we've asked the people who walked away from it is to now go out and be a mentor to somebody and find a mentor for themselves. And one of the reasons I asked them to do this is if you come from an attitude of service and knowledge consistently throughout your life, you have no choice but to grow. You have no choice but to both inspire and be inspired, right? And if you can be constantly going throughout your day, your year, your lifetime in that service mentality, the things that come from it are literally invaluable. They will actually change your lives and you will actually change other people's lives. So the idea is when you're sitting there and you say, okay, I'm going to find a mentor. Well, it's someone that you aspire to be like. And I don't mean that they have the success that you have, at least not that solely, right? It may be they just live the life that I want to have, or they have the character traits that I want to have. And there are so many people out there that are willing to be a mentor and serve you because all they desire in life is to pass that wisdom on to somebody else. And, like me, I have detailed conversations. I was literally driving to grandma and grandpa's house yesterday because I played golf with my kids to drop them off. And my daughter was asking, she's like, hey, daddy, does everybody have to go to college? And I'm like, no, you don't have to. But if you're not going to go to college, you have to know more of what you're going to do. You either need a skill and you have to understand how you're going to do this thing, or you have to create a business. And we're sitting there talking about like, what's the difference between a business and a job, right? And I was saying, listen, honey, I said, if you know you want to do a specific thing, like, is there anything that you'd want to do? And she's like, I wouldn't mind. She's really into like hairstyling and doing everything with her Barbie. She's 7, by the way. And she's like, it would be great if I had a salon, if I could work at a salon. I'm like, well, honey, there's a way that we can actually create a salon for you. And we're going through this conversation. I'm talking to a 7-year-old about how salons work. And I have a friend of mine who owns some salons. And I'm telling her on how it works and that she could actually do this, but she could support all these other people to cut hair and she would make money off of them, but also give them an opportunity to do what they love and help more clients. And at 7, she was inspired and she's like, oh my God, I could do that. I'm like, yeah, but if you're going to do that, you have to figure out the ways how to do that, when you're going to do that. You have to plan it all out. And it was an opportunity for me to be a mentor to my daughter. Now, as parents, we do that all the time, right? At least I hope you're doing that. But if you can do that for somebody else who's not blood related to you, not attached to you, doesn't work for you, has nothing to do with you, the gratification that you will get is unbelievable. And when you receive that, it is so valuable on your end too, because you're literally getting all the shortcuts. Right. You're getting the shortcuts in life. You're getting the shortcuts in business. You're learning from mistakes. And it's a two-way, I don't know how to put it into words, but it's this unbelievable explosion of value between two people that doesn't cost anything but time. Now, that's a wonderful thing, right? But
yeah, absolutely.
You can do that 2 other ways. You can pay someone to do this and you hire them to do that. Or in this zeitgeist right now of unbelievable amount of knowledge that's out there, accessible at your fingertips, you can find people and listen to podcasts. You could go watch YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or TikToks. Or there's so much information you can get. Now, there's no two-way communication. Right. There was a movie I watched once, Tom, and they were like my teachers, or I think it might have been Good Will Hunting or something. But it was something like, it was Good Will Hunting. And I don't remember the exact line, but it was something like, who's your inspiration? Who are your mentors? And Matt Damon was like, he was like Nietzsche and Freud and this and that. He's giving all these things. He's like, that's great, but they can never talk back to you. Right. Right. And it was, I got to find that clip and we'll put it up somewhere. But the idea was like, that's unbelievable that you can learn all this knowledge, but you can never have this connection, this communication. And you do have the ability to go down the rabbit hole and what do they call it? Doom scroll on someone's content or listen to their podcast like this one over and over and over again. But if you can't have that communication and exchange of ideas and shared struggles and all these different things, what can either person really get out of it? So this is why I think coaching and mentors and support groups and masterminds are becoming more ubiquitous throughout both people's lives and their businesses, because there is so much you can get and take away from this.
Yeah, 100%. And, when you engage with somebody who has been through and gone through what you are going through, and they can give you that support and that encouragement and really help you to navigate through it much better than they did, it's invaluable for both people. And the person mentoring someone always benefits too, right? The person mentoring, like you feel great about being able to share your struggle and your situation. And that's one of the reasons why I got into coaching originally, because when I quit my job 6 years ago and had nothing to go to, I looked for other people to give me guidance and support to figure out how to get to where I wanted to be. And I wouldn't be where I am right now had I not had somebody mentoring me through that process. And I got through a very tough time because I had people mentor me through that. And one of my greatest mentors has been my father-in-law, and he has always been there to teach me what to do in business and how to go about it. And he helped navigate me through a tough time. And I said, you know what? I have to do this for other people. I have to help other people at pivotal moments in their lives, at pivotal points in their career, to know that they can come out of it on the other side and come out really strong and powerful. And having gone through that experience and being mentored through that experience gave me the skills that I needed to be able to mentor and now coach people through their experiences. You hit on something before, Adam, about the traits and the characteristics of the mentors that you look for. And one of the things that we do in coaching is we talk about, when people are really struggling to uncover their purpose or to really uncover who they really want to be, we ask questions around, who are people you look up to? Who are people that you idolize? And what are the reasons that you idolize these people? And then I always ask the question of, what about them is already in you, right? What are the things about you that you have and the skills and the abilities and all of these traits that this person has? And it's usually because it exists in you, but you just don't know how to bring it out yet, but you do see it in you. And that's why finding a mentor who can match those traits and match those characteristics is so critical, because the experience on the other side of it is going to be so profound, because you're going to have this connection with this person that you didn't necessarily ever think could happen. And that's why being a mentor to someone and being a mentee is such a unique and beautiful relationship, because both people get so much out of it because they see so much of themselves in each other. And doesn't a mentor always say that I see so much of myself in you when I was your age or when I did that thing? And the goal is that you want to be mentored by someone and you want to mentor other people. And when we're doing that 3 layers of being mentor and mentee, you really gain so much more, and you live more life that way to the fullest, and you give a service mindset, like you said before. And that service is so rewarding in and of itself.
Well, things matter, right? So when you have a mentor or you're being mentored, there's so much more that matters in when you're about to approach that situation, and you come at it with an intention and a responsibility almost. Like there's a gentleman named Andreas, and he and I talk regularly. The other night, he and I literally were on the phone for an hour, and it went past midnight. And I am not a typical person who stays up past midnight unless I'm watching the UFC. Or I'm at a concert or something like that. And the conversation was so thrilling on both sides, and we were brainstorming stuff. Now, I was trying to lead him down a path to get to a certain conclusion. But as I did that, he started leading me down a different path, and I started to arrive at different thoughts.
Right.
And this is why the conversation went on for an hour, is we were just talking about a variety of different things. It was like the Threads app and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and, the Fediverse. Anybody who doesn't know what the Fediverse is, I would highly recommend you looking it up. And we just went down this rabbit hole of something so incredible. And it was the purpose of the call was for me to give him some information so he could take some action on something that he wasn't yet considering.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it was good or bad, I wanted this gentleman to open his mind up and think and look at something differently. And what happened in return is he did that for me.
Mm.
Okay. So he walked away with it from value. I walked away from it from value. We didn't realize we're on the phone for an hour. And unfortunately, because I was so pumped up after that, I couldn't go right to sleep,
Good
But
reason to lose sleep.
Yeah, but it was so it was such an amazing experience to do that. And me and this kid, I call him, well, he is a kid. Me and this kid, he's a man, but he's a kid. He's in his late 20s. We have these regular conversations and there's no expectation out of it. It's just conversations. It's not an official, I'm your mentor type thing or vice versa, but it has become that.
Mm-hmm.
And he has expressed his gratitude towards it. And I've expressed my gratitude towards him wanting to consistently receive from me. So it's really something that I think either side of it will change your life. And you should highly consider doing this. Coaching is a different way to do it. That's why we do coaching is it's a third coaching, a third psychology, and a third mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where this is. So if you have a very specific purpose of something you want to do, of course you can hire a coach and just focus on that. But otherwise, I would really, like I said before, highly recommend you coming to things with an attitude of service. And we could talk maybe one day about one of our principles that talks all about that.
Yeah. I think it's such a great point that you're making because, when we are looking to figure out something new or to figure out what the next step is, and we don't always know what that next step is, and we're struggling through that, I think it's so important in those moments to have a mentor because that person can pull things out of us that we never thought possible. But on the flip side, it changes things for the mentor too. And it really reshapes and reframes our perspectives. I always say that I don't coach people and just coach people. I learn from the people I coach. And half the times when we coach, I hear myself giving myself my own advice that's needed in that moment. Right. And that is the biggest benefit, I think, of being a mentor and a coach for people is really seeing that you're really helping yourself. When you work with people who you connect with energetically and that are in the same space as you and they understand your struggles and all of that, you wind up helping yourself more than sometimes you're helping the other person. And that other person is just a catalyst for you to help yourself. And that's why we encourage so many people to pick clients and pick a target market that is so close to who they are and what they represent and who they're about and what they want to be able to share with people that could understand it. And part of picking that ideal client at times is really looking at yourself and closely examining what is the thing that you probably struggle with that you could easily tell someone else to do and give them guidance on, but yet you sometimes have difficulty doing it yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions of people when they look at us as coaches and mentors and they think that we have it all figured out. And we don't have it all figured out. We're learning every single day from every experience we have. We learn from every client that we have. We learn from everybody that we surround ourselves by. And we're in the process of figuring it out. And will we ever get to that final point? Probably not, because there's just too much and so much out there to figure out. But the key is that you can't beat yourself up for not having it all together. And we're not saying that mentors should only be for people who are struggling. Mentors should be for everyone who wants to be successful, who wants to achieve more, who wants to learn more and get the most out of life. And when you can get the most out of other people, you get the most out of life. And that's why people are here. And every relationship that you have is here for a purpose and for a reason, whether it's a 30-second conversation or a 3-minute or a 30-year conversation with someone. Everyone is in your life for a reason and serves that purpose. And the goal is to utilize that person and take the knowledge and the wisdom and take the benefits away from whatever that relationship is offering you. And don't see it as when that relationship comes to an end as this terrible and destructive thing. When a relationship comes to an end, it's because it served its purpose. That relationship has changed and be grateful for that relationship. and take, like, I mean, we're talking 23 years later. I'm still thanking this physician that taught me everything I know. And that's the beauty of that relationship. Was it always a great relationship? No, it wasn't always a great in the moment, but it was something that I learned so much from. And at times I hear him speaking through me, and it's interesting just to have experienced all of that. So get a mentor and mentor someone. That's the key to this, is don't be afraid to ask for help and to seek people out. And when you don't know something, there is somebody that knows how to do it. Seek them out as a mentor and as a trusted confidant and colleague. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's good stuff, Tom. I mean, this is one of the reasons we do our masterminds. You know, a mastermind is not really coaching. It's a group of people coming together that have a common goal, and they want to work through that and to that simultaneously with one another. So these are all amazing ways to go about improving yourself and improving others simultaneously. So it's a never-ending journey, as Tom said. You know, one of my mentors, Eric Tom, had a sign on his desk and it said, "I have not arrived." And what that simply meant, he was super successful, youngest Hall of Fame member of MetLife in the history of MetLife. And what he meant by that is, even though I'm here as this, what other people look at as ultra success, he didn't look at himself that way. He has not arrived. So if you can constantly advise other people through mentorship and get advice through mentorship or coaching or masterminds or whichever way, like it's going through a walk through the woods like one of our clients is doing, I would say give yourself what you deserve and help some others get what they do too. So with that, Tom, I'm going to wrap it up.
Sounds good, man. We'll see you next time.